Will Asher, of course, the family, the both families being such a great support of Jamie skiing. Been skiing here at Jack's for years. And this is 35 off. Took a third in the Worlds and the Elite, won the Junior Worlds. So we're going to have a live webcast starting in a little bit. We're going to have just a video from the boat on our webcast once we get her up and going. We've got Tom and David Gray here with World Water Skiers doing the broadcast for us. Got to do one last weekend. Had the pleasure of being with Hall of Famer Wade Cox and superstar Zach Warden, and what a treat that was, getting the announced events with their company and their insight and knowledge. I have a beautiful morning. Hope this lasts today. Just gorgeous weather. Big pass coming up right now. Only one skier's made it through 38 off, and that was our second skier on the water, Taryn Grant. And let's see if Jamie Bull can. No, wow. And Jamie having problems at 11.25. Okay, Samantha Damala coming in, national champ and skier at Rollins College. .55.13. Her opening pass, and Sam picks up all six. And Samantha cruising through 35 off. Opened up at 13. Our first skier to come out at 13. And she'll be coming back at 11.25, 38 off. Here we go, 11.25. Sam needs all 6. Ooh, broke a little bit there on 2, and she gets to 3. Can she make it up? She's got 4, so she can get in good position to get to number 5. She does. She's cleaning up this pass, and she gets all 6 at 11.25, 38 off. Wow, had a shaky start, broke at the waist at 2, is able to keep her ski on edge, though, and get back in shape to make the turn at 3, cleaned it up by 4, got 5 and 6, and picks up a pass at 11.25. Coming back at 39, our second skier to get into this pass. It's interesting that our number 2 skier of the morning, Taryn Grant, got 1 at 39 and got things rocking, and no one's been able to catch her since. But now Sam, our last skier in open women's slalom, can take a shot at her. Had a lot of skiers coming close, but just having trouble with 5 ball. 5 at 38 for Brooke, 4 at 38 for Hannah. Bailey had 4, 4.5 for Chelsea. $39 off. Needs a good start. She's got 1. And that's all she's going to get. Looks like she broke a little bit at the waist there at 1. So she'll pick with 1 at 39. Still an excellent score. Nice skiing, Sam. Good skiing. Opening pass, 58-14, Harry Spavin.
Confirmed for Harry.
Harry coming back his second pass, and smooth and steady as he knocks this one off. Harry Spavin coming in 35 off 12 meters. As we are underway, ooh, and having trouble there with 5-ball turn and does not get through 35 off. From Chile, Rodrigo Miranda. And Rodrigo gets all 6. Second pass for Rodrigo. 35 off. And looking good as he picks up 6 at 13. Come back at 35 off. Rodrigo, 35 off. Looks like he's off to a pretty good start. He's got 2. 3. Come on, Rodrigo. And makes all 6 at 35, 12-meter line length.
Tower 16. 6 with an 08. 6 with an 08 confirmed at 12. 11 is next.
Rodrigo, 38. He's around 3 and can't get past number 4. He'll bring it around the ramp and take it into shore. So we get a 3 at... Alrighty, 3 at 38 confirmed for Rodrigo.
Boris Lavelle, 58-13. Boris at 13.
Alrighty, folks, Boris Laval coming in, opening pass from France. Skis here in Claremont. Got talking to him about his ski company. He's designed and built the ski that he's on, the Monte Carlo. As he picks up 6 at 13, holds a French national record, national champ. Tanguy Benet and Edebach.
6-108 confirmed at 13.
And Sasha Deskins, the folks that he looks up to that have helped him. I want to thank all the folks here at Sunset Lakes, Jack Travers and company, Jack Lalani, Chris, John, Natty, and of course all our homeowners that do so much to help out, Ron and Mary, Dan and Deb, Mike DeMello. Really appreciate all their support. And of course all of our officials that are with us today, our Chief Judge Lisa Steiner, and helping out with the official capacities today, Brenda Baldwin, Candido Maz, Bill Winter, Matt Reaney, Phil Hughes, Curtis Raby, Pascal Allard, Stan Switzer and Donna, Cindy Benzo, Dan Abrisha, Zach Warden, Susie Bryant, Sergio Font. And we've got our drivers that I'll inform you about in just a moment as we pick up on the second pass at 35 off for Boris. Also enjoys the gym and dirt biking when he's not out there on the water, and looking good as he cleans up at 35 off. Well, you got Gordon West behind the wheel now. Earlier today, Greg Chapman, Les Todd will be out a little later along with Dan Abrisha. Scoring Hall of Famer Jeff Clark along with another Hall of Famer, Teddy Winter. We're the wife of a Hall of Famer, Teddy Winter. Bill Winter, one of our senior officials. Dana Garcia is going to be helping out. Of course, here behind the mic today and all weekend long, the Hanky Panky Man, Hank Longo, with Jarrett Llewellyn and Chris Travers. So much fun to be here, and delighted to be able to be invited year after year for this Masters LCQ, the Sunset Cup 2018 here at Jack's. And good morning, everybody, for all of you joining us. Delighted to have you here. Okay, getting into the nitty-gritty now. 38 off, 11.25. Needs a good one to get this pass going. Off to a beautiful start. Nice-looking one. That's probably the best-looking one at 38 off I've seen today. Is he's in good shape at 4. Come on, Boris. All right, he gets all 6 at 38, and I know he wants to run 39. Believe it or not, last weekend to get into the top 8, you had to run 1.5 at 41 to get in our top 8 of the Travers Grand Prix Pro-Am last weekend. Great event. Hats off to John, Chris, Jack Lalani for that great event, Natty, and all the crew that helped out. Well, we have our webcast going, and the broadcast now this morning is going to be just from the boat. And you can see the back of the head of our driver, Mr. Gordon West, another one of our Florida State Hall of Fame inductees. And if you haven't, please sign up to www.worldwaterskiers.com today. Fill out your bio. It doesn't matter if you're a pro and amateur. We want you to get involved and make it one big happy family. Of course, hats off to the Willen family for all their support. Jarrett, Britta, Dorian, and of course the Grays, Tom and David, putting a lot of time into making this happen, a lot of time and a lot of money, because they believe in the sport and are passionate about it. And boy, not getting the two-boy at 39, still some nice skiing by Boris Laval out of France.
One with a 2-3, one with a 2-3. Okay, we got Martin 58-13. Martin at 13.
Martin coming in on his opening pass, 32 off, 13 meters. Okay, Martin coming back at 35. Okay, Martin at 12. 11. Sorry, started off at 13, came back at 12. This is 38 off. 11.25 meters. And picks up ball 6. Okay. Alrighty, so a half at 35 for Martin Malasusek.
Got Dorian, 13 meters, 58.
Dorian at 13.
Alrighty, Dorian Llewellyn coming in. His opening pass, of course, Papa Llewellyn and Mama Llewellyn, two of the greatest pro skiers of all time. And Dorian picking up 6 on his opening pass.
6 with an 08.
Boy, confirmed at 13. 12 is next.
Okay, so Dorian opens up at 13 meters, 11.25. He'll be coming back at 35 off, 12 meters. One of the top young overall skiers in the world today. Out of South Florida, and I got Dad joining me, and kind of skiing for a couple of countries, Austria and Canada, isn't he? Or
Yeah, he's in his first, when he grew up, we spent a lot of time in Austria when I was traveling and doing the pro circuit. And, you know, obviously his wife is, my wife, the mom's Austrian, so he skied for Austria in the beginning, and now he skis for Canada. I said at one point we're going to switch him over, so we stole him back.
Well, it's just a treat to see some of these young overall skiers. It's a rarity. It's so demanding to ski all 3 events, and Dorian picking up where Dad left off, probably going to go down as one of the greatest overall skiers of all time, winning so many world championships, masters, world jump records, world overall records. But they're just not supporting overall skiing like they did in the past. Now, back in the day with Ricky McCormick and Bob LaPointe, Lucky Lowe, all that crew. In fact, Chris LaPointe never got to ski in the World Championships back in his prime because you had to ski all 3 events and qualify to be on the teams.
Yeah, the sport's definitely changed. When I grew up, my heroes were all doing overall, and to get to the Worlds, you had to be on the team. Then they opened it up to the top 12. Specialists can go, so that all the best skiers in the world are all at the World Championships, and now they've even expanded it more. So people are definitely, specializing. The depth is more and more, and it makes the World Championships harder for an overall skier to make a final.
Well, let's watch Dorian at 38 off, and good-looking turn on one to get things going. It's so important they keep that ski down out of the turn, so they keep their angle through the wakes to get set up for the next buoy. And well, you got to be proud of this one, Dag. Cleaned up a 38 off, no problem.
Yeah, we were talking before he started, and for him, getting a solid overall score is really important. He would love to run 39, but then, you jeopardize your overall score going into this, and especially first round, waking up, you want to get going. But the wind's picked up a little bit as a bit of a cross tail on your first pass, so he decided that he did want the 39 head and just said, you know what, I'm just going to go for it. And running that tailwind 38 is a good sign that he's kind of on track, and
he's confident.
Yeah, keep the line tight here at 39 at one ball and get a good start and try to get deep 39 and maybe even run it. That would be awesome.
Well, as we watch this event, especially as you get into the shorter line lengths, the most critical part of the pass, as we watch skier after skiers, how they get that one buoy. And you need that good turn, a tight line. You can't have any hesitation because you don't have the time between 1 and 2 to be able to make up a whole lot. So it's so critical that he gets a good turn on number 1 to get this going.
Yeah, the pullout is so critical. I mean, you got to get a good start here, coming into one ball. Not a great one. He's down course on 2, and he's just going to try to get the 2 ball here, get the gate. So since he went through the gates there, he got the full point 2. Not what he wanted on a start, and like you said, Hank, the gate is everything, is critical. I mean, who was absolutely amazing is Andy Mapple. You back in the day, he didn't matter if he got wide, narrow, and he just was but. Guys that are the best slalom skiers in the world are just freaks. They can adapt to the mistakes. Guys that most people need a really good gate to get a good start, especially when you're height challenged like myself or Dorian. He's not a very tall guy, so you need to get a good gate, and you need to get up free of the boat and get some speed going before the line hooks up, and you got to get your angle, and you got to get everything done. And at 39 off, there's not much
room to do that.
Well, the rope's so short, so the element is just everything has to get done by the first wake, and if you don't get a good start, you just dig yourself a hole right out of one.
Okay, coming in for his opening pass, Tom Poole.
Poole, he's
Nope. There you go.
Tom is
6 with an 08.
Can we try to get 2 mics going, David?
Yeah.
We'll just share this one. That should be working. Here we go, Tom Poole, second pass.
yeah, it's on, but it's just not picking anything up.
Tom pass number 2, and halfway through it, looking good as it gets around 3, and kind of warm-up pass.
It's working.
It's alive. We are here on worldskiers.com today, promoting this Comcast. Got the camera in the boat. We're going to do a little testing here so I can get world champ Jarrett Llewellyn joining me, and one of the greatest skiers of all time. Going to be fun sitting here and chatting with him and getting the inside scoop of skiing at this elite caliber of skiing. People are trying to qualify. Now I just got cut.
Some weird noise. Press there. I think this is wet.
Tom Pool getting
Test. Test. 1, 2. Yeah. It's working.
This should be 38 off, Jarrett. We'll confirm this pass, but I'm sure he started at 13 meters, 32 off.
Tom is definitely. Nope. You definitely see the height difference in Tom out here. Really nice style, getting everything done, getting stacked right before the first wake, all his hips and everything up. He ran that really easy.
Tom started at 14 meters. He's coming back at 38 on this pass. Skiers kind of vary. Some like to start at 28 off, 14 meter line length. The other skiers starting at 13.
This is 38.
11.25 for Tom Pool coming back at us.
Test. He's coming back at 38. He looks really well. I thought the last pass was 38, but obviously it looked too easy. But this is still pretty good. He's got a headwind. No real big bobbles there.
Nice clean run for Tom Pool as he picks up 6 at 11.25 meters, 38 off.
6 with an 08 confirmed at 11 and 7 next.
So we have to do a test of any kind. Just talk about what's going on. Yes,
Yeah.
That's just kind of one of the little things that I'm learning myself, actually. You know, as I just talk. They don't know. Tom Pool coming up. Now we get into the nitty-gritty. Jarrett, this is where we talked about Dorian and having to get a good number one boy, and it all begins right here for Tom Pool. 39 off, 10.75 meters.
Yeah, he's got a two-handed gate, gets out. He's got a little bit of a tailwind pushing into one ball. Ooh, gets a little deep. It was a little down course, lost the line a little bit out of one, and again came into two ball and lost the line and tried to make up and just pop the handle.
Well, once again, when you watch that number one buoy turn, when the tip of the ski comes up out of the water, you know you've got to get it down as soon as you can to try to remain getting some angle to get out around number two, and that's where he ran into a little trouble with that ski popping up on him around the
For sure,
Number
you don't
one
want to make
ball.
too many mistakes. Even if you screw up the turn, if the line drops out, as long as you get back and get stacked and get through the wakes properly and get back into it, you could still run the pass. You can make mistakes at turns, but really going through the wakes is critical. And what you don't want to do is make mistake on top of mistake. And if that happens, then usually at the short lines, it's not gonna happen.
You don't have a lot of time to make a mistake after a mistake. Usually after the first one, if you get through the second one, you're doing good. But the third one, you're done.
Yeah. 2 mistakes usually costs you losing the handle, and that's what he did there. He tried to. I think he realized, one wasn't that great. He needed a big 2-ball to get back in the game, and he tried and just bit off too much. And with
It's hard to hang on. So much, power from that boat to make that big turn and to actually be able to hang on to it. It's almost a miracle when you do.
It's definitely, you see a lot of these athletes, the shoulders and the necks and, that they have on them, and a lot of them, backs are always the sore element in slalom. So staying limber and taking not too many hips is always a better way to go.
Alrighty, Felipe Miranda coming in on his opening pass. He is the defending world overall champion. And always a treat to have the Miranda family come join us here at Jack's. And they're a staple here at the Masters LCQ, our Sunset Cup 2018 in conjunction with it. And we're qualifying for the Masters Water Ski Tournament, and there is 1 spot available in each event for each division in slalom, tricks, and jump. In men's slalom, the performance to qualify for that last seat available at the Masters is 3.25, 3¼ buoys at 41 off. That's amazing. And so if a skier skis that today, it doesn't mean that he's in the Masters, because you have to at least match that performance, but you have to win the event. So we could have somebody running 5 at 41 or maybe picking up 1 at 43 and win the event, and that's a skier that's going to get into the Masters. So they've got their work cut out for him here, Jarrett.
Yeah, that's a hefty score just to get in. But not only that, you gotta beat everybody else that does it. So there's quite a few guys coming up that all are skiing incredible. They skied last weekend at the Swiss Pro event, and a lot of them were doing those types of scores.
Well, and we had them here just before that on Saturday, and Friday and Saturday. Actually, they skied on Friday, the pros, and it in a fun tournament, the Travers Grand Prix, the inaugural Travers Grand Prix Pro-Am, where we had teams of pros with amateurs. And to get into the top 8 final last Friday, you had to run 4.5 at 41 to get in the top 8. And they had a tie with 2 people at 1.5 at 41. And they had to run that off. And Adam Settlemeyer, our former world overall champion, was able to get in, and it's incredible skiing these guys are doing.
Yeah, that you basically have to throw down and just go for it, and you got to get a good start. And the guy, they're all so tight right there. It's the guy that just throws down, and it's his day that day, right?
And 1/2 buoy is critical. 1/4 buoy at that line length is critical. Well, third pass for Felipe. And this ought to be 11.25, 38 off, and having a little trouble at the end, but hangs on and keeps it alive.
Yeah, Felipe, he's a very, best overall skier, one of the guys in the world for overall, and he's definitely a great slalom skier, but he's he's so tough and so strong. He's a little bit of a thrasher. He's not a really tall guy, but he's willing to throw down, and he usually
Goes
gets
after it.
He does. Right there at the end, you could see how much he was fighting, and but you know, on paper, 6 is 6.
It doesn't matter how it looks, just as long as you get the job done.
That was 38. So he's coming back to So he set himself up similar to what Dorian was doing as an overall skier. He wants to run this 39, set himself up for a really good overall score. And I don't know if he's going to be challenging to get into slalom for the Masters, but he's definitely going to go for it here.
Let's watch. Here we go. World overall champ Felipe Miranda from Chile coming in. Needs a good turn on number 1 to get this going. Tip of the ski came up just a little bit. Makes a big turn on 2 to keep it going. He's got 3. Ski came up again at 3. And when that happens, it always results in losing your angle and can't get around number 4. But still a great score. 3 at 39 for Felipe.
Yeah, he got a pretty good start, but his 2-ball, he didn't get a good turn out of 2. And ski was left behind, and he got a little bit ahead, lost the line a little bit, didn't get the angle out of it, and subsequently came into 3 hauling and not much angle. And I think he tried to thrash 3-ball and try to get back into it, and
that's all you can do, really.
Yeah, yeah. He was done kind of at 2 and was hoping to get another couple buoys.
Well, what's fun about watching this Open Men's Slalom event, same as the Open Women, boy, we had some great performances by the gals. They're all right in there, nip and tuck with each other, and that's what we're going to get out of these Open Men's Slalom skiers. And pretty soon, as we get down our list of skiers, they're all seeded by their performances. So the best performance is the number 1 seed, and you kind of work back from that. So as we go down the list, we get into skiers who have had better performances.
Joel's been started the year off incredible. He's been, he's a pretty young skier. Been an overall skier, very talented, but really hasn't been on the pro circuit too long, and came over to Mumba, and he rocked some huge scores.
6 with an 08.
Even made the finals at Mumba, and was putting out some great scores, and was right in the fight. And when you're in the fight, man, you're a good slalom skier.
That's for darn sure. Yeah, there's so many great skiers in the world. When you make it in the finals, you've accomplished something, definitely. See now he at the Okay, here we go with Joel coming back at 12 meters, 35 off. So out of the UK, England, Joel Poland getting another 6. And a pretty strong contingency there from the UK. I mean, with the weather conditions that they have, that are pretty brutal all winter long, it's amazing the talented skiers that we get coming out of, the UK.
Yeah, the sport has definitely changed. A lot of these skiers are coming over to the U.S. and going to school here and skiing full time. When you're in a country like England or Canada, if you plan to be competitive, you definitely have to move south and be on the water. And he's done that. He's spent a lot of time at Matt Reaney's, and he's a phenomenal skier. And in all 3 events, then that's pretty respectable. It's pretty awesome to see young kids coming up and still be as competitive in all 3 events as Joel
And
is.
it's a lot of work. I mean, there's a lot of time and dedication, to put into one event to get to be at the top level in the world, let alone 3. Well, here comes this tough pass right here, 11.25, 38, and not picking up that pass at 38. We're going to bring him back.
Yeah, you can. 38 off is still. I mean,
at one time it was the impossible pass.
Yeah, I mean the equipment nowadays, the bindings and the skis, it's so good, and the level of competition's gone up so much. But 38 is nothing to sneeze at when you make a mistake. And Joel's not a tall guy, but he just happened to, that was just unexpected.
Yeah, he had a good-looking pass going, and unfortunately makes an early exit. So Felipe looking pretty good right now with his 3 at 39, and Dorian Llewellyn right behind him with 2 at 39. Boris got into 39, picked up 1.5 by Martin.
Yeah, for some of these skiers, it's just the slalom score, but for some of the skiers, it's still an overall score. This is a big tournament to get a good score at the start of the year. A lot of these scores get you in other tournaments like the Masters or other overall tournaments, or setting you up for the Worlds even next year.
And for the folks, Jarrett, that are watching that might not be that educated in the sport, when we talk about overall, they're competing in all 3 events: slalom, trick, and jump. And you have to be the best in the world in each one of those events to be a world champ overall skier. That's how difficult it's gotten, and the skill level of these skiers, how high it is.
Oh, for sure. All 3 events are different. Slalom skiers, back and the power, and trick skiing, you need to be limber, and the jumps all lower legs and hips. And so when you throw the 2 in there, it's just like fight gone bad. It's just you're adjusting and flipping events. Throughout the week, daily, like you're adjusting what event's bad, and then you work on that, but you just can't focus on all of them. They're not all good at the same time.
All righty, Cole McCormick coming in for his opening pass. Just graduated from Florida Southern, and brilliant young guy. And of course his dad, one of the greatest overall skiers of all time himself, Ricky McCormick, world champion, world record holder, Hall of Famer, both in the World Water Ski Hall of Fame and the USA Water Ski Hall of Fame. And his young kids, they're not so young anymore. Noah, 11th grader, coming up here in next fall, and then Cole just graduating from college. And they're 3 event skiers, and they keep the tradition going, like your son Dorian, and just takes a lot of work, a lot of effort. But I have to take my hat off to Florida Southern College. They do so much for their skiers there. Curtis Raby, the coach there, and a number of the skiers here today are students at Florida Southern, and just have a great ski program there. And of course, Cole getting out kind of early now. They're some of these kids are starting college their senior year of high school, so by the time they graduate, they can even probably start their junior year. So when they graduate from high school, they've got an associate's degree, and when they get to college, they've got it half in the bag, which he did. A brilliant young guy, too. Very smart, very good student, and he's really up the ante with his performances, getting into 41 off. His best performance has been 3 at 41.
Yeah, Cole, just his personality, he's just such a nice kid, and he's rock solid in all the events. I know he's had a few injuries over the years, but with some ankles, and his father was one of my heroes, and his mom was pretty decent. She was world champion, and she's Canadian, so
yeah, Canadian team member.
Yeah, she's hardcore, so he's definitely got some good coaches in his background, and Cole is a bigger, really strong, and he uses that style to his advantage. He's really quiet, and he just loads up the line, and it really chucks him out there, and he's just a really great slalom skier to watch.
Well, it was interesting. I was at Florida Southern last week. A very dear friend of mine, one of my buddies, Chris Long along with world champion, one of the greatest skiers of all time, Mr. Jarrett Llewellyn. And gosh, fun to just sit here and talk skiing with you, buddy. This is like a dream come true.
Oh man, we could just talk stories all day, couldn't we?
Oh, we could. And you know what I really look forward to getting to is the jump event, because year after year we've sat here on the sidelines and watched jumping and got to sit with you and talk about it, and it's always a treat to get insight from a world champ, a world record holder that's been there, done that, and the technique and the little things that they can do wrong that makes the difference in a long jump, and just the little things that they do right that makes for a good jump. And to be able to sit and talk about it's a treat, just like sitting here watching slalom. I mean, we're watching the best slalom skiers in the world, and to have one of the best skiers of all time sitting here calling it with you, it's a treat for me. Plus the people getting to listen to it and getting the inside scoop of what it's like to be at that high level, the thought process, the training process, the skiing process.
Thanks. It's just trying to give a little insight, and over the last 20 years, how much the sport has changed. It's incredible, like all the events, the equipment, the performances, how the athletes train. It's serious business now, and the athletes are phenomenal, and you can rival any of the athletes in this sport to any other sport. And this sport, I don't think a lot of people understand how hard it is, and it's not just learning the movement, but you're actually getting pulled by a boat, and you're fighting this.
Okay, so out on the water, Thibaut Delan.
Cole was only like half a buoy off. He's right there. He just get to the next buoy, get a piece of it, and he would be the first guy to put his name on the list to go into the Masters. Obviously, whoever wins this weekend has the best score. Beyond that score is going to go. But man, to get it off the first round, I mean, that would be it would be nice. And Thibaut is definitely an incredible slalom skier, and might be able to match that number too.
Well, another student from Florida Southern College got his degree in business administration.
Thibaut's an overall skier too. I mean, one of the best overall skiers of the last World Championships, came second, and phenomenal in all three events again. So it's great to see these guys.
And he's got a little bit of height to him too, so that helps in this event, because as we get into the short line lengths, if you're perpendicular with the boat from the boat pylon on the rope, perpendicular going out to the buoy at 38 off, the rope is 9 inches, almost 10 inches shy of the buoy. When you get to 39 off, it's almost 2.5 feet shy of reaching the buoy. At 41 off, you're 4 foot and an inch.
Yeah, that's it for me.
You don't have much more to give than that,
no.
do you? And then at 43 off, you're 5 foot 8 inches shy of the buoy. So it's remarkable how you have to get, the shorter the rope is, you really can't be early, because then it starts to pull you into the buoy. So you really have to have your rhythm so you're the widest when you need to make your turn. And here we come with Thibaut, 38 off, 11.25 meters. Well, he seemed to work his way down on that one, Jarrett.
Yeah, he's pretty solid pass. 2 and 4, reaching over the hand a little bit. Didn't get a great turn out of 2, but he got right back into it, no problems. And he's probably down there thinking, how are those turns and what's going on, and make sure that he's because 39 here, it's the big pass. This is everyone's kind of setting themselves up with the wind here to try to come back.
Try to get this pass. You need to if you want to take a shot at the 41 off pass to qualify for the Masters. As you mentioned, second overall at the World Championships in 2017, European overall champion in 16, and his folks doing so much to encourage him and support him in his career. And Jarrett, we run into that skier after skier, the sport of water skiing, such a phenomenal family sport. And it takes a whole family to help a skier that wants to compete or even recreational ski. You got to have the boat. You got to have gas in the boat. You got to get to the lake. And the dedication, every skier out here, you're going to hear a great family story about what their parents have done to help support their skiing. And here's a big pass right here. Needs all 6. Thibault Deland, 39 off, 10.7 meters. Needs to be patient and get a good turn there at 5, and he gets all 6 and did what he needed to do. And that's, I saw this earlier today with the women. You're coming into that number 5 buoy turn and you're saying, okay, we got it, but you have to discipline yourself to be patient and just focus on making a good turn and then go on from there.
For sure, he didn't get great at a 2-ball, but he didn't make a mistake on a mistake. He kind of reached for the handle, left the ski behind, but his edge change was brilliant, and he got back into the game. And then he did it again at 4, but not a lot of big mistakes, and impressive that he definitely was fighting his way through that pass and got all 6.
Yeah, and at the end of it, he really looked in good shape, confidence builder as he comes into this next pass at 41. So we'll let him sit down there and think for a second as we wait for him to come in at 41 off, 10.25 meters. Okay, Jarrett, 41 off. Needs to get a piece of 4 buoy. Ooh, and breaks at number 1 and can't hang on. Still some great skiing there for Thibault, picking up a half at 41.
You're not getting the angle and coming inside the handle a little bit, coming into 1 ball and just falling inside and being a little bit heavy on the inside shoulder and just lost the line. Too bad he didn't. He knew he needed a good start to get down the line with the wind pushing him. So, good score. He still got overall, so that's a solid, score for his overall. Hank, actually pretty amazing with the weather that's been this past week. It's just been incredible, like both tournaments last weekend. I know down in Palm Beach we had rain come through and just solid for 2 days, and up here I was watching the webcast and looked beautiful. And then we got up here to come do a few sets and get set up, but it's been pretty bad. And then looking at the weather report, we didn't realize that it was going to be this nice this morning, so hopefully I'm not jinxing it here, but
you have to start saying Hail Marys after each pass. We keep it going here, but yeah, I mean, it's been on and off. It'll come down and rain hard, and then it'll stop, and it'll get like this, and then another front will come in, but it looks pretty good. I mean, a little cloudy, but don't see any real storm clouds coming in. Okay, so here we come. Joel Howley, opening pass. And Joel looking smooth and steady as he gets through the most important pass of the day. You got to make the opener otherwise. There's not much you can do after that, but Jarrett, going to come over to you, and I can see you've got Cole McCormick with you.
Yeah, we just grabbed Cole here. Some awesome skiing, man. Right there, almost